यह दुनिया की सर्द तरीन बस्ती है। साइबेरिया का ये गांव साल के कम से कम 8 माह तक मुंजमद दर्जा हरारत का तजर्बा करता है। ऊपर से गांव तकरीबन लावारिस लगता है क्योंकि ये बहुत ठंडा है। जब आप वहां होते हैं तो आपकी उंगलियां सर्दी से जल सकती है। सर्दी न सिर्फ इंसानों और जानवरों को मुतासिर करती है बल्कि पूरी जिंदगी को भी जमा देती है। फोन ठीक से काम करना बंद कर देते हैं और बंद हो जाते हैं। सड़क पर छोड़ी हुई कारें चंद घंटों में जिम जाती है। फल और सब्जियां नहीं उगेंगी क्योंकि जमीन साल भर मुंजमद रहती है। अगर आप मास्को से मशरिक की तरफ 7 घंटे की फ्लाइट लेते हैं तो आप सबसे पहले आकोद तक पहुंचेंगे। घंटों की ड्राइविंग के बाद आप साइबेरिया के सर्द तरीन गांव पहुंच जाएंगे। वहां थर्मामीटर तकरीबन हर रोज -60 डिग्री सेल्सियस दिखाते हैं।
When you are there, it feels like you are on another planet. Approximately 800 people live in Oymyakon, spread over 1.5 square kilometers. It's nearly impossible to see another person outside. It's as if time itself is frozen here. The normal temperature in this village is between -50 and -60 degrees Celsius, so it is really cold. The soil in this region remains frozen all year round. The layer of permanently frozen soil extends hundreds of meters deep. To survive the cold, pipes run from a central coal boiler in the village to the houses. The central heating system is the only source of heat and must work non-stop. Even a short breakdown could plunge the whole village into a freezing disaster. The day always starts early in Oymyakon. Although the sun comes out around 10 a.m., people must go about their daily routines while it is still dark. Inside the houses, rooms function as both storage spaces and refrigerators. These unheated rooms also act as a buffer against the freezing cold. For breakfast, they often eat high-calorie foods, such as greasy pancakes with jam. Since daily temperatures there hover between -50 and -60 degrees Celsius, the body constantly expends energy to maintain its temperature in such an environment. This is especially true in the morning, when the body has been inactive for a long time during the night. For this reason, fatty foods are the most efficient source of this necessary energy. Since they take longer to digest, fatty foods sustain the body's energy production for hours. This provides the body with continuous internal heating. In other words, the body continues to maintain its own temperature. Access to water is also very difficult in Oymyakon. There, accessing water is not as simple as turning on the faucet as it is in modern life. The permafrost, or year-round frozen ground, makes laying and maintaining water pipes impossible. Residents must carry blocks of ice cut from the river to their homes for drinking water, cleaning and brushing their teeth. To meet these needs, they go to the frozen river, cut 30-kilogram blocks of ice, and return home on sleds. They store the ice blocks either in a cold room inside the house or outside in the garden. The ice collected from the frozen river is quite clean. However, most of the time, the outer layer of ice is scraped off. This is because the surface of the ice may become contaminated from jumping on it, touching it, or carrying it. When families need water, they take a block from the garden and bring it home. The block is then slowly melted in a large barrel to produce drinking water. In this way, local people have access to clean water, even though it is difficult. Winter in Oymyakon lasts nearly year-round. Only for 3 months does the ice thaw and summer is felt. Even if water pipes are installed in houses, the water inside freezes instantly. People meet their daily needs, such as washing their hands or cooking, with water stored in advance. The lack of plumbing infrastructure means basic hygiene facilities, such as showers and toilets, are unavailable inside homes. Small, unheated huts built in the yards of houses are used for toilet needs. There is no sewage system. If someone needs to use the toilet here, they must put on layers of clothes and move quickly to avoid freezing, even if it is a short distance. It is not a comfortable experience to have to go out in the cold like this. In everyday life, people in Oymyakon wear thermal clothing, thick furs and thick leather boots. In such a cold region, modern synthetic clothing is often inadequate. Furs, on the other hand, naturally trap air. Therefore, when you wear fur, your heat loss is minimal. Additionally, the air gaps in the inner layer of fur trap body heat, while the oily hairs on the outer layer repel wind and snow. Thus, fur provides thermal insulation and water repellency. This feature of furs is much more effective than that of synthetic coats. Furs and skins are naturally derived from animals, making them a more affordable and abundant resource than imported products. The soil in Yakutsk and throughout Oymyakon is not fertile. This is because plants and animals cannot decompose and enrich the soil. For this reason, people in the Oymyakon region of Russia always long for vegetables and fruits. Here, vegetables and fruits are more expensive than meat. The inhospitable climate and high transportation costs make a meat-oriented diet imperative for the people of Oymyakon. Agriculture is impossible here, so livestock farming is the main source of livelihood. To survive, the locals breed Yakut horses and cattle. They benefit from the meat, milk, and skin of these animals. Animals are the most important necessity for survival in that region. This is why farmers wrap the teats of cows in thick cloth to protect them from frostbite and keep them clean. If the animals are harmed, human life there will end quickly. The strong odor of the animals makes breathing difficult in the barn, but the villagers are accustomed to it. Due to the extreme cold, no water pipes can be installed in buildings in the village. The pipes would freeze instantly. So every morning, the cows walk out into the cold to the river to drink water. They take turns stepping into the icy water. They must move quickly. They must return before the cold becomes unbearable. This part of the river is surprisingly unfrozen. But of course, there's a reason for that. Spring water from underground merges with the river, preventing it from freezing. These are Yakutsk horses. The conditions here are so harsh that only they have adapted to the climate. They don't need heated shelters. They can withstand temperatures as low as -70 degrees Celsius, day and night. Unlike normal horses, they are short in stature. This makes it easier for them to survive in the wild during the winter. Their short bodies allow them to share heat over smaller areas. Their bodies are fat and round. This is because their fur is very thick. They also have very long hooves. This allows them to stand on the frozen ground for long periods of time. These horses are not captured. They are deliberately bred. Humans raise them and then use them for their own needs. More precisely, horses are raised for their meat. Horse meat is very popular here. As you can see, it's quite fatty. It is full of vitamins and useful minerals. Since there are no fruits or vegetables, the people of Yakutsk get their vitamins from meat. That's why fishing is also common throughout Siberia. Here, fishing is done by breaking the ice. In places like Oymyakon, ice fishing is not only a livelihood, but also a cultural, social, and almost ceremonial activity. With temperatures as low as -50 degrees Celsius, ice fishing requires engineering, patience, and traditional knowledge. In Yakutia, almost all major rivers and lakes freeze completely from November to late April. The ice is often between 1.5 and 2 meters thick. Therefore, fishing requires drilling through the ice, correctly identifying where the fish are located in the layers, and using cold-resistant equipment and clothing. Tools such as metal-tipped spears, axes, and iron picks are used to cut through the ice. Fishermen usually prefer river bends, stream junctions, or spots in the middle of the lake. Yakut fishermen find these spots by listening for the sound of water under the ice or by remembering previous year's fishing grounds. Caught fish freeze instantly. They are either eaten immediately or kept frozen. Most of the time, the fish is eaten raw. In the Oymyakon region, eating raw fish is not just a habit, but a way of life based on deep climatic, cultural, and biological reasons. The Yakut tradition of eating raw fish is called stroganina. When you cook fish, some of the beneficial fatty acids, vitamin D, and enzymes are destroyed. In places like Yakutia, where sunlight is scarce, vitamin D is very valuable. Raw fish provides these vitamins and fats in their most natural form. Thus, eating raw fish is a biological adaptation strategy for people living in this harsh geography. If you have an unsuccessful fishing day, you can buy frozen fish at the markets in Oymyakon and Yakutsk. People get their fish from markets like these to meet their nutritional needs. However, keep in mind that it will be mostly foggy on the way to the city center, which will result in poor visibility. Oymyakon and Yakutsk also present a big challenge when it comes to surviving traffic. The air is freezing cold, and the fumes from car exhaust cool down and create a foggy atmosphere. The means of transportation in Oymyakon are interesting too. Before cars existed, people used horses, oxen, and reindeer for transportation. Reindeer are very important in this region. They are used not only for transportation, but also for their meat, milk, and hides. The cold is so severe that even the sturdiest vehicles become inoperable without the proper precautions. If a car is left outside for just an hour without starting the engine, it will freeze completely and must be thawed out before it can be started again. People use jet heaters to warm their cars. If a villager is fortunate enough to have a heated garage, he can store his car there for months without risking engine failure. Some people in that region never turn off the ignition and leave the engine running all the time. In extremely cold regions like Oymyakon and Siberia, keeping the engine running is not just a habit, it's a necessity for survival. Temperatures as low as -50 degrees Celsius are the coldest in the world where motor vehicles are regularly used. In such an environment, not only do people approach freezing point, but fuel, oil, batteries, tires, and metal components do too. In other words, turning off an engine in such cold temperatures means you may not be able to start it again easily. This is because engine oil freezes or condenses. The car battery loses its electricity. Similarly, the gasoline in the vehicle freezes. Even the air in the tires loses its function due to the cold. For this reason, taxi and minibus drivers in the region, especially those who work in the morning, start their vehicles early and leave them idling until evening. This keeps the engine, fluids, and fuel system operational. In the village of Oymyakon, the bathing routine begins not by turning on the tap, but by chopping firewood. The villagers shower once a week. They rinse by pouring water over themselves and quickly getting dressed. They bathe quickly in Russian-style bathhouses. In their homes, they heat water in large boilers. The hot water is poured into a bucket or basin. Then the person is quickly washed with that water. During extremely cold periods in winter, it can even be risky to shower or wash the whole body. Therefore, full body washing is less common. Although some people take ice baths every morning, this is more of a ritualistic practice. Ice baths are not a substitute for bathing for the people of Oymyakon. Similarly, people do their laundry once a week. In fact, many families have a tradition of washing clothes on weekends. Water is usually obtained from the river, melted snow, or by tanker. In the winter, they melt snow near the stove to prevent it from freezing. A bucket of water is precious, so laundry is carefully planned. The water from the melted ice is boiled on a stove. The hot water is then poured into a large cauldron. Laundry is placed in the cauldron with detergent and washed by hand. It is not possible to dry laundry outside in the winter because it freezes and hardens within minutes. Laundry is usually dried inside the house near the stove. This makes the house damp, but there is no other solution. In Oymyakon, survival is possible not by defying nature, but by living in harmony with it. The people of Yakutsk use ancient shamanic wisdom to live by the rules of the cold instead of fighting it. Here, even the harshest winters are met with ritual, not fear. With the belief that nature gives as much as it takes, this is not resistance, but a way of living with nature. Like the video and subscribe to the channel for more videos like this one.